Welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report. I'm joined today by Hofstra softball head coach Larissa Anderson. Thanks again for joining me, Coach.
My pleasure.
Pretty successful week for the Pride, 4-1. Win over UConn, and then a series sweep over Elon, and then a midweek setback to Fordham at home. After that loss to Fordham, how did you kind of approach it with the team to get back on track for the weekend series at Elon?
You know, it was a little hiccup, and the timing probably is perfect. You want to have one of those hiccups, late March, early April, not something that's going to be late April going into the playoff situation. So we have to learn from it. We have to come out, we have to play hard every single day, and we can't expect to win. And when you're on an 8-game winning streak, sometimes winning becomes easy. And you forget those little things that you have to do, which gave you an opportunity to win. So I think we learned from that, and then we showed that this weekend against Elon.
You go on the road and take 3 from Elon. You're now 8-2 in true road games this season. How important is it to be able to go into someone else's field and take a couple games from them?
What we said going in is we want to play with such intensity that we make the home team uncomfortable. And we maintain that throughout all 3 games. But when you look at it, playing on the road is traditional for us. We played our first 15 games on the road. Really, that's all we know. And we have a very, very good routine on the road. Now we just have to get in a good routine at home.
You're now the only undefeated team in CAA play after only 2 weekends of conference play. Do you pay any attention to that, or is it kind of just background noise?
We care about what we're doing, and we want to make sure that Hofstra softball is prepared for any opponent that we have. We don't talk about it. I might look at it and hear from the media on what everybody else is doing, just so I can prepare for the next upcoming conference series. But we don't scoreboard watch, because we want to make sure that we're controlling our own destiny, and we just continue to do what we need to do in order to put ourselves in the best opportunity to be successful, and hopefully down the stretch that we have an opportunity to win that regular season title and bring that championship back home in Hofstra.
We've talked about it a lot. The offense has kind of come on strong these past couple weeks. What have you seen at the plate, and how are kind of all the pieces of the puzzle starting to come together?
We worked so hard on mechanics early on, and from September all the way up until January. And when you start seeing live pitching, to try to get a hitter to stop thinking about mechanics and focus on their approach takes a little bit of time. And so now the 2 things that we talk about is evaluating, did I swing at a good pitch? And if the answer is yes, then you move on to question number 2, and that's, was I on time? Was I early, late, or on time for that pitch? And those are the only things I want them to evaluate. I don't want them to evaluate their mechanics. If the answer is no, they didn't swing at a good pitch, then that's what they need to focus on. And so we've really emphasized that throughout the last couple weeks, is just swinging at good pitches and be on time for it, and you have no control over the result. Try to hit hard line drives, swing at good pitches, and whatever happens, happens. And I think we're really starting to really get comfortable in that situation.
A little snow on the ground today, but hoping to get a doubleheader with Binghamton in on Wednesday. This is a team you've already seen this season. What are you expecting to see from them on Wednesday, having known a little bit about them already?
First, we just can't catch a break, and it's one of those, back into our emergency action plan that, we deal with what we have to deal with. So hopefully we can get out there on Wednesday and play that doubleheader. It'll be a good midweek test for us again, being able to go from class right out to the field. Because mentally that can be a struggle sometimes. But Binghamton does all the right things. They have good pitching, they play good defense, and they have good hitting. So we have to continue to make sure that we're taking care of what we need to do. Our pitchers need to keep the walks down, not give up as many free bases. We have to control the strike zone and not swing at the ball out of the zone, and we have to continue to play great defense.
The Pride takes on Binghamton at 3 p.m. in a doubleheader at Bill Edwards Stadium on Wednesday before hosting Charleston for a conference series. 3 games starting with a doubleheader on Saturday and finishing with a single game on Sunday, also at Bill Edwards Stadium this weekend. This has been the WB Mason Coaches Report with Hofstra softball head coach Larissa Anderson. Thanks again for joining me, Coach.
My pleasure.